and welcome back to my channel. This just came up and I was like, content. How do you price your items? Like, how do you guys go about pricing your items? Remember that this is your business, you own it. Prices are set to where they're set because that's what you feel like your product is worth, that's what you feel like you're worth, that's what you feel like everything that you put into this particular product is worth. Now, I actually have a hard time with this because a lot of the time my mom tells me that I underprice things. For me, I think intimidated, you know, to talk about money and prices, and it's like I kind of cringe a little bit when I tell people and they say, oh, how much do you charge for this? And I say, oh, da da da. I kind of get a little nervous, a little butterfly in my stomach because it's like, what if they think that's too much? But you have to stop caring about stuff like that. When I'm finished completely with my rebrand, a lot of things are going to change. First thing that I think is super duper important to take into consideration when you see people's prices, especially as entrepreneurs, especially as small businesses, you have to think about things like their locations, whether or not they live close to a large variety of vendors, and like New York City, LA, Texas are all places where you can actually physically go to vendors and try on things and not pay for shipping, versus a person like myself, which I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and I don't have the same luxury, which means that I will actually have to pay the traveling fee if I decide to actually travel to New York and get it, or I'll have to pay a large shipping fee in order to receive my products. So that's a factor that you have to think about when actually pricing your product. It's important for everybody to create their own formula. You don't have to listen to what I say, you don't have to listen to what the next person says, but what you think works best for you. Hey, I sell this particular t-shirt, and in order for me to buy the actual t-shirt as well as to get it printed, I paid, let's say $15. Okay, so I paid $15, and I'm gonna say my markup price is gonna be 75%. $15, so that was just the price of the shirt. Then we're gonna say plus 75%, and it's gonna say 11.25, and then we're going to go ahead and say equal, and that's going to give us the price of $26.25. If 75% is your number, then that will be your particular markup price after you do the 75% of what you put into the shirt. It's important to create a formula. Do I think you have to stick to the formula? Not exactly, because you may feel like you put more work into this shirt versus a dress that you purchased, or you may feel like you use better quality oils for your shea butter versus your lip gloss. So I think all of those things you have to take into consideration when pricing the products. Every single product on your site may not be of the same quality. Of course, we don't want to promote or sell a bad product in general, but it is just normal for some things to be of better quality than others. So we just have to take all those things into consideration. Okay, so for this shirt, I'm going to use 75% markup, but for that dress, I'm going to use a 50% markup. But then for my shea butter, I'm going to use an 150% markup. Now, these, of course, are all just examples, so don't take any of this literally, but that's just like the type of formula that I think is super important to use when actually pricing your product and on a continuous basis. Because if you're anything like myself, with me being a new entrepreneur and starting out, I am trying out a bunch of different products, and just with everything, I'm just like, how much should I charge for this? How much should I charge for that? When I first started, honestly speaking, I didn't have an exact set out formula. I kind of was just like, okay, so I paid $15 for this dress, and then I had to pay $30 shipping. Say I bought 10 dresses. I'm going to divide the shipping amongst each dress, add that to the cost of the dress. So then let's say that ended up being $5. Okay, so now we're at a $20 dress, and then I need profit, so then I'm going to add about $7 to that. So now this is a $27 dress. I would kind of just be very random and just do things like that, which I think that's okay too, especially with starting out. You just want to make sure that you get your money back for what you paid for it, and then some, because that's how we grow, that's how we actually make money, and that's how we get that thing that they call a profit. You feel? And you have to pay yourself for the work you put in to find the dress. You have to pay yourself for the work that you put in to package the dress. Now, speaking of packaging, I think that's another thing. You know how people say, like, you want to make sure that your packaging looks so amazing. People pay for what they see, and that's the thing as well. So if you are one of those businesses who go above and beyond with your packaging, you put in hard work, and that's what actually drew them to your Instagram page or your website. If a part of your packaging is what makes them purchase, that also can be implemented in what you charge. Again, with it being your own business, boutique, what have you, you have to set the tone for your business. Like me, I want it to be like a cute website where you have cute clothes and it's affordable. That's why I don't overprice and things like that. But also you want to make sure you are able to create a profit. But you have to think, like, there's places like Forever 21, especially you have to think with these large companies, it's nothing for them to get products, and they probably pay near to nothing for it. So with that, they have a huge profit. They have a huge profit with doing so, just because they have those type of connections and things like that. But with being a small business, you may not have that. But now, set the tone. Same way we just mentioned Forever 21, there's also businesses like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Chanel. Now, you know, it does not cost them thousands of dollars to create a belt, but they set the tone for their website, and guess what? You see everybody walking around with $1,000 Louis Vuitton belts, $1,000 Gucci belts, because that's what they set the tone for. And when you set the tone and you stick to it, people will, if they want your product, they're gonna buy it. And also another thing that I've realized is sometimes people will look at the price of your product, and that'll kind of let them know whether or not it's of good quality or not. Now, they could look at an entrepreneur like myself who's like, oh, I want a cute, like, affordable shop, and I want people to go ahead and purchase from me and not feel like they broke the bank. They may look at me and think that, okay, her dress is not of good quality at this point, because why is it only $25 when this girl has that same exact dress on her site for $75? And it's just all about the entrepreneur and the entrepreneur's business, you know, because this girl may live in LA, where she knows that where she's from, people pay $75 for a dress like this all the time. And again, I live in Cleveland, and I'm just like, not quite. But it's all about your mindset, and it's all about the tone that you set for your own business, honey. It's all about it. Also, I think it's really important to be as wise as possible when it comes to like trying to price a product per se. Like, I remember Ime, he told me before, because him and his brother, they resell products, which is a really good thing to get into as well. But they were saying how they either read about or they saw a video where somebody was explaining the importance of pricing and the 0.99 rule. And it's like, people would rather pay, like, people will go onto your site and they'll see $34.99 and be more willing to pay for that than if they see $35. And I don't know why, but that's a real thing. You have to think about it. And sometimes, if you notice with businesses, especially during huge sales like Black Friday and things like that, they'll like change their prices drastically right before the sale, and then they'll do a huge % off sale, and it still makes you want to buy the product, when in all actuality you're not really getting a sale. They just hike the price up and then put the sale price back down to where it was originally at. But I'm gonna just sip my tea though. Sometimes another thing that they'll do is they'll put a little bit more pricing into the actual product and then say, oh, free shipping for everybody, when really you're kind of paying for the shipping, but in their own way. And that's, you know, they're allowed to do that because it's their business, and if you decide to buy, you just decide to buy, and that's how it goes. So hopefully this was helpful for somebody. If anybody was even wondering how a person even product prices, like, how do you get this in the mail and say, okay, well, I'm gonna charge $50 or I'm gonna charge $12. And sometimes with some products, honestly, you have to take a hit. If you feel like it's not really selling like you want it to, then at that point you just put it down. You put the price down and you get what you can. And sometimes that's okay too. Like, it's just, honestly, as we know, the entrepreneur is kind of like, you kind of go with the flow with it, you know? So hopefully this video was helpful for anybody who was just wondering how a person typically would price their product. Again, you don't have to exactly go with anything that I said, because a lot of things that I said were just examples and things like that. But I think overall, what to take from this video is know that you are in control of what you charge for your product. This is your business. You put in all the work. Nothing that anybody says should like cloud that. As well as I think it's important to try and create a sort of formula to not stick to, but stick around, so that you're able to like say, okay, this is what I'm going to charge at the most, this is what I'm going to charge at the median, and this is what I'm going to charge at a lower level for all of my products. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment down below, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so you'll know every single time your girl uploads a new video. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Black, y'all. and I'm black, y'all. And I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black.